am here to talk about employee benefits. My name is Jodi Hensley. My business name is Pro Benefits. And I wanted to start by talking about why I'm here. I'm here because employee benefits can be very, very confusing. In my prior career, I was on the HR side. I was buying benefits for different organizations. I was with a very large organization helping design benefits. And I knew from that experience just how confusing, how frustrating it can be to be on the other side. So I'm here to help explain what employee benefits are, how to purchase them, why you might want to purchase them, who is eligible, and some of the just nitty-gritty details about employee benefits. So thanks for joining. Again, my name is Jodi. So employee benefits can be something that you as a business owner or business manager might have been thinking about. You wonder why would I want to offer employee benefits? They might just make you more attractive as an employer. It's easier to recruit people when you offer benefits, especially in today's labor market. So many people and businesses are looking for new employees, might be struggling to find them. And a business owner who offers benefits to those prospective employees is just possibly going to be more attractive. It also, not only does it help with your recruiting, it also helps with your retention. When employees have benefits, they appreciate their benefits, they understand their benefits, it is a retention tool. It's kind of a sticky point to help you retain good employees. It gives you flexibility. So when benefits are purchased, or health insurance, I kind of use those terms interchangeably, but when benefits are purchased through an employer, there's a lot of flexibility. So there's more flexibility with every piece of it. The types of plans, how you buy the plans, who's eligible for the plans, when you can enroll, all of that. So tremendous amount of flexibility. You also have the pre-tax savings. So pre-tax savings on dollars that you spend on benefits can be a pretty significant tax savings, especially if you or your employees are currently purchasing benefits on a post-tax basis. So pre-tax benefits you, the employer. It also offers stability for you and your employees. If you've been enrolled in the individual market previously, or you haven't been offered group health insurance before, you know every year things change. There can be really significant rate increases. There can be really significant changes to the provider networks. Carriers come in and out of the state. How you enroll has changed in the last few years and can be a little bit frustrating, complicated. It provides a tremendous amount of stability for you and your employees. Not only are there advantages for you as an employer, but there are advantages for your employees. So some of the advantages for the employees, and I will say there are easily as many for the employees as there are for you, the employer. They get the pre-tax benefit. So any dollars that they are contributing for their benefits, for their dependent premiums, can be pre-tax dollars. For the most part, can be pre-tax dollars. We'll walk through a little bit more in detail on that. But if you're buying an individual plan, you're earning the dollars, you're going out, you're paying your taxes, you're going out and you're buying your benefits, post-tax dollars. It becomes significantly more expensive to buy benefits, health insurance on a post-tax basis. One of the other big advantages with a group plan is you have the opportunity to have significantly larger provider networks. So if you or your employees have been on individual plans, you've probably had that frustration where The provider you want to see may not be in network. A lot of times hospitals for emergency care, they're going to be in network. But when you get beyond that, you're looking at specialists, you're looking for mental health providers, looking for physical therapists, outpatient drug and alcohol treatment, any kind of specialist, you're going to have a significantly easier experience, better experience finding providers on group health insurance plans versus individual plans. So the group plans just have the big, robust, very large networks, easy to use. A lot of times those networks are also PPO networks. So when you hear the term PPO, it means a preferred provider organization. That typically means you can self-direct. So you don't need a referral to go to a, let's just say you have a massive headache, really unusual headaches. You want to go see a neurologist. This is a really extreme example, but it's an accurate one. And on a PPO plan, typically you can call a neurologist, schedule an appointment for a checkup to go in and be seen. On almost all of the individual plans, you need a referral. So still might make most sense to stop through your primary care doctor to get that referral. But in theory, on a PPO network, you can self-refer to specialist. People like to be able to self-refer. There's certainly a lot of value in having a primary care doctor, but a group plan does offer you the potential of buying a PPO plan and allowing people to self-direct their care within that much bigger network. One thing I didn't note on the slide, but is true on a group plan, you also typically can buy better out-of-network coverage. So if you just want to see a provider who just doesn't take insurance at all, on a group plan, you're very likely going to have out-of-network coverage, whereas on an individual plan, you likely won't have any at all. There's stability and ease of use in a group plan. So on a group plan, your employer, from an employee's perspective anyway, your employer is doing the bulk of the work. Hopefully you as the employer are having your broker do the bulk of the work, but an employer is doing the work from an employee's perspective. They show up, they are offered a plan, they complete their enrollment forms, they get enrolled, very, very stable. They pay their share through payroll deductions, so they know the bill's been paid. Very stable and easy to use from an employee's perspective. As well as all the other things you mentioned, rates are typically just better on a group plan. You got the purchasing power of buying as a group. Rates are just more competitive. Your dollars go a lot further for premium on a group plan versus an individual plan, even outside that pre-tax benefit. So more bang for your buck, dollars go further, you get richer plan designs, just more coverage for less dollars. It's just hard to compete with a group plan. We already talked about larger provider networks and flexibility, so that's a huge benefit. So get this question asked a lot with especially new businesses starting up. Does a business have to offer employee benefits? If you have fewer than 50 employees, and there's a particular calculation for that, so if you're close, you can reach out, get some help in calculating that. But just as a general rule, if you are smaller than 50 full-time equivalent employees, you are not required to offer benefits or health insurance specifically. If you do offer health insurance, you do have to follow certain rules, and I'll walk you through what those are. So even though you're not required, if you choose to participate, you have to play by the rules. If you have 50 plus employees, you are required to offer health insurance, and that is a rule that was derived from the Affordable Care Act. So if you want to know, if you're 50 plus employees, need some help understanding exactly what that means, Are you offering essential coverage? Are you offering affordable coverage? That's what a broker can assist you with. How do you pay for benefits? So when an employer sponsors benefits, when you've decided that you're going to enroll in employer sponsored benefits, basically what happens is you as a business contribute a certain percentage of the employee's rate at an absolute minimum, and the employee can contribute something. But just the absolute basics of how this happens, the logistics of it, the business sponsors the plan, the carrier, then the broker and you help, you get everyone enrolled, you send it off to the carrier, everybody gets enrolled in the plan. The carrier invoices the business for all employees, all dependents that enrolled. The business pays the carrier directly for everyone that's been enrolled. And then the business can turn around and withhold the employee's portion through payroll deduction. We'll talk about pre-tax, post-tax, but those payroll deductions, it's really important to strategize. When do you start those deductions? You want to make sure as a business that you're starting those payroll deductions in a way that makes sense. So you want to typically time that so your payroll deductions are in line with your slightly, are all set to go. So when you get that invoice, you're collecting the money back through payroll at your next payroll deduction from your employees for their share. So the business isn't basically having to fund that money for an extended period. When we talk about pre-tax versus post-tax, there are some things to know about the pre-tax benefit. So if you have an employer-sponsored plan and you want to pull deductions from your employees and you want to be able to do that on a pre-tax basis, you are going to want to have a Section 125 plan. It's also called a premium-only plan document on file. Most brokers will assist you in doing that. So if you are working with a broker and you don't have that POP doc, it's called a POP doc, Section 125 plan, you don't have that on file, reach out to your broker, ask them to do it. If they don't do it, they could refer you. You can reach out to me. I'll give you some other suggestions. Most brokers should be able to provide that for you. That is important. You just keep it on file. It's between you and the IRS, and it says you have acknowledged these rules around pre-tax deductions, and then you go along about your business and you take your payroll deductions pre-tax. As far as who is eligible for pre-tax deductions, if you have employee contributions, so let's just say an employee rate, the premium is $300. And the plan you've selected requires you to contribute minimum of 50%. $150 is going to be collected from the employee per month. That can be done on a pre-tax basis. If they choose to enroll a spouse, say the spouse is also $300, that $300 can be withheld on a pre-tax basis, as well as dependent children. Dependent children are eligible up till their 26th birth, the month of their 26th birthday, usually through the end of that month. Also, if you have a state registered domestic partners, they are also eligible for pre-tax deductions. There are some rules around pre-tax deductions. So if you are taking pre-tax deductions, an employee is committing to staying enrolled as long as they're employed throughout this cycle until your next open enrollment, unless they have an offer to move to another plan. That needs to be a like plan, like a comparable plan. So basically, another group plan usually meets that requirement. Let's just say someone's spouse is offered coverage at their employer. It's a better deal, better plan, whatever it is. That would be a qualifying event for them to move to another plan. Otherwise, they do need to stay enrolled through the plan year. The benefit of the pre-tax employer, you as an employer, you're not paying payroll taxes on those dollars that the employee is paying for their dependents. The employee is also not paying payroll taxes on those dollars spent. So that adds up really quickly. Those savings add up really quickly. Post-tax, non-state registered domestic partners should be deducted on a post-tax basis. And again, broker should walk you through this. So if you decide as an employer you're going to offer benefits, you got some decisions to make. There are quite a few decisions to make, but again, your broker, and that's, like, for example, my job with prospect, if I talk to a prospective client of mine, my job is to walk them through all these decisions, help them make decisions that make sense for them. So you've got some decisions to make. What carrier will you enroll with? There are a number of different carriers in Washington State. You have numerous different options. A broker will help you differentiate between those carriers. Why one carrier might be a better fit for your group versus another. If you are an employer in Eastern Washington, there might be a carrier that offers a better provider network in your particular area than another. If you have employees out of state, there might be a carrier that works better than others. And so you've got first a decision to make. Which carrier are you going to enroll in, and how are you going to enroll? Are you going to enroll through directly through a carrier or through an association health plan? And I'll walk you through what an association health plan is. It's they're very popular in Washington State. I work very closely with a number of the different association health plans here in Washington, and they can be a really big advantage when you're offering employee benefits. When you decide which carriers you're working with, you also have to decide which coverages you're offering. You're offering medical, dental, vision, life, disability. There are a handful of other coverages. What type of plans are you offering? Are you offering HMO, which is a health maintenance organization? Kaiser is the one that comes to mind in Washington State. Or are you offering a PPO, which is the preferred provider, which we talked about? Are you offering voluntary benefits? So basically, you sponsor them, but the employer's not really funding any of it, the employee is funding it. Or are you offering compulsory, which just means the employee is funding part, possibly you're funding part or all. Those are decisions to make. A lot of times a broker will work with you and say, okay, let's look at your budget. What is your budget? How do you make best use of those dollars? Are there some benefits like medical that you want is your main priority, but do you want to offer some voluntary benefits on top of that don't really cost you anything as an employer, but do make you more attractive because you are offering some benefits that employees can't get on the individual market, for example. Okay, so then you've decided all those things. You need to decide contributions. How much do you pay? How much do your employees pay? Then you also need to decide eligibility. Who's eligible? Different programs allow different differentiation of classes, basically. You could say all our sales team is eligible for this plan. Management and sales is eligible for this plan. Everybody's eligible for one plan. If you offer two plans, you need to make some decisions about that. A lot of groups offer 2, 3, or more plans to choose from. But your decisions to make are also really important. Strategize with the broker about what is your turnover? Like how often are people leaving before 90 days? How competitive do you need to be to attract the type of employee that you want to attract or the candidates that you want to attract? Do you need to offer coverage that starts really quickly? Or can you offer coverage that starts maybe after 60 days? With the Affordable Care Act, the longest you can have an employee wait is 90 days from their first date of employment. And so those are just a number of the decisions to make. Can you even offer benefits? Probably. Many employers can. I'll start with the most limited options. If you have an LLC and you and your spouse work that LLC, yes, you can. There is a program in Washington State. It's an association health plan where, yes, you can enroll, assuming you work within an industry that's one of their eligible industries. So if you're sole proprietor, you and your spouse both work in the business, you may still be able to enroll. If you're an S Corp, even with a single employee, could even be you, as long as you're receiving W-2 income in addition to just distribution, you may be able to enroll, very likely will, again, with limited options. And if you are a business with 2 or more W-2 employees, or a non-married couple, you're going to have quite a few options, including many direct options and many association health plan options. So how do you know what to do? How do you know what you're eligible for? You don't need to figure that out. It's a broker's job to figure that out for you. Basically, if you reach out to a broker, they will ask you for some basic information. They're going to ask gender of your employees, location, zip codes in which they live, basic information about your company, address, where's your headquarters, do you offer current coverage now, dates of birth. That's about as detailed as it gets. To get a quote, typically, your broker will take that information, which we call census information. They will take it out to the market. What they should do, take it out to the market, shop the market for you, bring it back to you and say, these are your options, and help you review your options in a way that makes sense. It can be incredibly overwhelming trying to figure out what you're eligible for, how to do it, how to get enrolled, how to manage your benefits on your own. You can do it in limited circumstances. You could call or reach out directly to, like, Regions Blue Shield, for example. What you're going to miss out on in that case is the assistance of a broker, but you're also going to miss out on association health plans. So really suggest reach out to a professional, let them do the work for you. If you are a business that has fewer than 50 employees, you are going to receive what's called community rates. I should clarify, if you have fewer than 50 employees and you're enrolling directly through a carrier, not an association health plan, you're going to receive community rates. Community rates are, they're basically canned rates. Any other group, let's just say you have 10 employees, they're all 30 years old, they all live in Yakima, and they're all the same gender. Any other business with exactly those, that exact same census is going to receive exactly the same rates as you are. Those are community rates, just based on that basic information. If you have more than 50 employees, you will receive what's called merit rated rates based partially on your experience, your claims. So your experience just means your utilization, claims history for your group. So if you are a large employer, or you're enrolled with an association health plan, that can be a really important conversation to have with your broker, to say, what are things that you can do to help reduce your claims, your utilization, to keep your rates, your experience as good as possible. And there are some things. There are things you can do about educating your employees about benefits, how to make best use of their benefits, educating about preventive care. Preventive care is critical in keeping claims down. Every single plan with the Affordable Care Act, a qualified health plan includes 100% paid preventive care. It's based on a schedule, based on your age and gender. But that's a really critical piece in not only keeping your rates, your utilization claims under control as a group, but also in keep people staying healthy, catching serious things before they go awry. You can also do things like educate your employees on using urgent care versus emergency rooms. It helps keep your experience and your claims down, but it also helps your employees spend less out of pocket. Basic things like helping them understand how to find an urgent care. How do you know what urgent care is in your network? Things like that. You can also talk to them, or we talk as brokers, we help educate about using generics, using low-cost generics, using mail order, that kind of thing. So there are a lot of different things that can be done to help you and your employees. And that's mostly done through education. So these are all the carriers that we at Pro Benefits work with. There are a lot of them. These are the direct carriers. You can choose, any number of carriers are available on a direct basis. You can also buy healthcare through an association health plan. This is where it gets a little more interesting. So as far as shopping the market and negotiating on your behalf and all of those things. So association health plans are basically, think of it as, I like to think of it as an umbrella health plan. You have a sponsoring organization that is kind of the big umbrella. Let's just use Master Builders, for example. Master Builders Association sponsors a health program. Anyone who is a member of the Master Builders may enroll in that health insurance program. You don't have to be a member of an association to get a quote. But if you like the quote, you're interested in enrolling, you do need to be a member to get enrolled and stay enrolled. A lot of times the association health plan rates are significantly more competitive than the direct rates. So if you're in particular industries, you are likely going to be eligible for particular associations. So for example, if you are in an industry remotely connected to building industry, you make your window cleaners, you are manufacturing carpets, you are framers, you have something to do with plumbing, any of those, just think, is it somewhat connected to the building industry? You're very likely eligible for the Master Builders or Construction Association health plan. If you're in tech, there's a couple different tech associations that you might be eligible for. We work with all of those. Manufacturing is a really fast growing association health industry, industry within the association health plans. And for example, there's CAMPS, a manufacturing health trust. So with an association health plan, you get the purchasing power of purchasing as part of a large group. So what they do, let's just use a Master Builders as an example. Master Builders says, we're going to sponsor this health insurance plan. Each company goes out, gets rates through your broker, gets rate. Let's just say you came to me, you said, I want a quote. I'd get you a quote. If you like what you see, you enroll. You're technically part of this much larger group, let's just say with 25,000 members. And that's pretty accurate, I think, for the Master Builders. You'll be part of this much larger group. You get the benefit of that purchasing power as a very large group versus if you're 10 employees and we're going to Regions Direct, you've got those community rates. The additional benefit of the rates with an association health plan is you have the ability to bundle benefits. So one enrollment, one bill, one eligibility, all these things make one renewal just makes it easier for you as an employer. You also get to bundle oftentimes what we would consider best in class. You can bundle a Regents Blue Shield plan with a Delta Dental and a VSP Vision and life insurance on top of that, all in one nice little tidy package. Makes it super easy. So they can be really attractive. There are quite a few association health plans in Washington. We work with all these different association health plans, and it just depends on what your industry is, where you're located, what you'd be eligible for. So you, in theory, you could be your broker or a broker who's working on your behalf, just maybe shopping for you, could be able to bring you numerous direct offerings and numerous association health plan offerings. You shouldn't feel any obligation to purchase. If you reach out to a broker and you want to see what would it cost for your group, you're just curious, shouldn't be any cost. If you're being charged to proactively to shop, lots of brokers out there that will shop for no cost. If you're just curious so you can budget for next year, don't be shy about just asking for proposals and just say, hey, I'm just curious. I'm budgeting for the future. That's a problem typically. I'm sure people want to know, what does it cost? It's hard to say. It depends. So your rates will depend on the number of employees you have, the ages of your employees, the genders, location, how many employees are in state versus out of state. What types of benefits have you selected? Just a wild estimate. I mean, I see proposals come through that have, sometimes even lower, but on the low end, $300 a month per employee for a lower, not the richest benefit in the market, but that's on the low end. This is just a wild estimate. Again, don't hold me to this. It all depends on your group and what benefit, your average employee age, that kind of thing. And then what kind of benefits you're choosing. Keep in mind, when I say $300 as a wild estimate, I'm giving lots of disclaimers here because you need to quote your group first. And if you don't have a super young group, the rates are gonna be higher. But that would mean your billed, in this example, your billed $300 from the carrier. Your employer contribution could be as low as $150 per employee, and then you collect the other $150 from the employee. So I just want to clarify that'd be $300 total. You have a share, they could have a share. That's how it works. Typically, it takes, like if you requested a proposal, it typically just takes a few days to get rates for a group. During the busy season, which is right now, it could take a few extra days, but during the quieter season, it takes, oftentimes within a couple of days, we have rates. So brokers, I'm a broker. There are a lot of brokers in Washington State. If you have a broker and you feel like they're not making your life easier, it's okay to change brokers. You can change brokers mid-year, find a broker who will work hard for you. I feel that brokers are paid very well for the work we do. And when I was buying benefits on the employer side, I was multiple times very frustrated with a broker. Didn't get quick responses, didn't get, if there was ever an escalated issue, I wasn't getting the assistance for an employee that I felt I should get. I'd only hear from them at renewal when they wanted to renew my group. So a broker, is there to work for you. Some of the things that you your broker should do or could do for you is you can ask them, shop the full market at renewal. Just because you get a renewal doesn't mean that's your only option. Again, a lot of options in the market. So if you're not happy with your renewal, reach out to a broker and ask them to assist. And you should, you should have a number of different options at your renewal. Sometimes with association health plans, the renewals are so great that you're like, great, I'm good to go. But if you're disappointed in your renewal and you feel like you need to see other options, don't be shy about asking for that. A broker, as we talked about, they'll help you make carrier and plan selections, point out why you might move one direction versus another. If you're talking about offering multiple plans, what are good strategies for putting plans together side by side? What makes sense? What is a good, usually like a feel good experience for employees, offering this plan with this plan and so on. A broker's job is also to really help your employees truly understand their benefits. So I always think if you are paying for the benefits as an employer and your employees don't really understand what you're offering them or what you're funding for them, and they're simply just carrying their ID card in their pocket and they don't really know how to use it, that's a crying shame. So a broker's job is, add an open enrollment, a brand new enrollment annually, mid-year. Make sure that your employees are really understanding their benefits. That will help. In our experience, that helps with that retention piece. When employees really understand their benefits, they really view it as a value add. And that is a broker's job. The broker could be a resource for your employees and their families, their dependents as well. They help your team get enrolled. So there are a lot of good online solutions now where you don't necessarily have to chase those papers like in the old days, where you're chasing people around trying to get them to put pen to paper, especially with people working virtually. A lot easier now to do things digitally. A broker should be available for claim escalations, make an introduction, like get people connected to the right people that can assist. If you're recruiting and you're really trying to sell your benefits and you want your broker to help you explain your really amazing benefits to a prospective candidate, great, ask for the help. They should really almost be functioning as an extension of your admin or your HR team. They should be making your life easier. They should be making you look good with your employees. What does it cost to work with a broker? Typically doesn't cost you anything else. So beyond your premium. If you have fewer than 50 employees or at any size, you're enrolled with an association health plan, the broker premium is built in and it's not removed if you don't use a broker. So you're basically paying for it anyway. So find a good one, make full use of them. Brokers typically in the over 50 employee size, you will add on a percentage for a broker. You can add a flat percentage, talk to your broker and say, you want to make sure you understand this. Like what broker commission is being built into your plan, into your rates, and make sure you understand that, and you should feel free to negotiate that with a broker. Make sure you're getting the best, bang for your buck. So if you have questions, I know we're going to have a Q&A that I will be answering, but if you need help, you want referrals, I will be happy to refer you if you're looking for something in particular. Pro Benefits is a full service brokerage firm. We predominantly work with groups. We typically don't work with the groups of one or two employees, but we have great partners that I would be happy to refer you to. And if there's anything I can do to assist, don't hesitate to reach out. I've included my cell number. I've also, email's preferable because I can get to it at any time. But I look forward to hearing from you, and let me know if you need anything at all. I hope this was helpful. Thanks.